This is a bowl of honey roasted sunflower seeds, roasted and salted, and it has 12 grams of protein and only 310 calories per package. It seems like a great snack, but to me, this represents bird seeds. As a child, I remember waking up in the early hours of the morning to get ready to go to work with my family. It was often a struggle for me to get up. I think I was 8 or 9 years old at the time. There was this one morning when my mother came in to wake me, and I refused to get out of bed. She then came in with a pink bucket full of water and threw it all over me. I got up. There was no sense in staying in a wet bed anyway. We worked at the San Fernando swap meet for many years. I remember how we would get there before sunrise and get in line to enter the swap meet, following the many trucks and vans as they went in. It was hard work, but it was necessary work. This was a big part of my life where I had to help out. I didn't get to stay home and do nothing, and I didn't get all the video games that I wanted. It was my grandmother's business, but my mother, sister, and I would help organize the space, building and breaking down the metal poles that held together a tarp, loading and unloading numerous pet supplies out of the van, some of which were many heavy buckets filled with bird seeds. The days were filled with work and time with my family. My favorite part of the day was when we were getting close to leaving, and many of the spaces were empty and full of trash and unwanted items. I always had a curious mind, so I would go out and scavenge for random items or toys. I even remember finding a box of foot wolves that my friend and I split. Days and years would pass, and eventually my mother would continue the business. She worked as a housekeeper during the week, and she sold pet supplies during the weekends. She would take me to clean houses, many of which were big and fancy, something I wasn't used to. We would spend hours in these homes. She would clean, wash laundry, and organize these spaces for these people. In time, she would eventually open up a pet store in Silmar. If I weren't doing my homework, then I would be cleaning or selling pet supplies. And just like when I was a child, I would unload sacks of birdseed and bring them into the store. I think of my mother and I remember how hard she always worked. These weren't easy jobs that you can sit behind a desk. I'm grateful I got to live through all of these experiences. So just as these seeds gave sustenance to animals, it also fed my work ethic.